Hello everyone, my name is Lily. I'm a scientist, I'm an engineer, and I'm also a tarot reader. And today I thought I would share some of my data with you that I've collected over the last decade of doing tarot readings. Typically, I'm just very curious to see, based off of different age groups that I read for, different ages of clients, what are their concerns? What do people come to a tarot reader for during different phases of their life? So I have a spreadsheet here of some of the questions and the topics. Every time I do a tarot reading, I record it, and I do kind of the age. If I don't know their age, I kind of guess, and then I do if they're male or female, and then the topics that we explored in the reading. And I don't have the entire 10 years of data here, but I certainly have the last 5 years. So I think I'm going to share this with you. I think it'll be very interesting, and you might want to know what people in your age range are getting tarot readings on. All right, so the first age group is the 20 to 30-year-olds, and I actually feel like I could break this up into half because a majority of my clients are in their 20s. The 20s is a very tumultuous, it's like the melting pot of life, like you could make a decision on Sunday and it could change the entire trajectory of your life by Monday. And there's so many things going on in your 20s, like finding true love, finding your career, finding your purpose, growing your identity as a person. So I actually think the difference, I'm going to do 20 to 25 because that's pretty radically different, and then 25 to 30 are just the different focuses that people have when they come to a tarot reading versus the beginning of their 20s versus the end of their 20s. So let's get started from 20 to 25. All right, from the ages of 20 to 25, a lot of the questions that I've received have to do with personal identity and growth and relationships and love. Very few of them are on educational choices and career. A lot of the questions I get from people from the ages of 20 to 25 are all about navigating relationships. And that kind of makes sense because it's your first time maybe having a serious relationship of your own or attempting to acquire a relationship. So here are some of the common questions that I encounter from young people when they come to me for a tarot reading. Questions like, what can I do to improve my dating life? How can I manifest or attract the right partner? How can I have meaningful relationships with my friends? How can I navigate the challenges of balancing relationships with my other responsibilities? I actually think that's quite interesting. So when it comes to breaking up, as many of us get our hearts broken in our early 20s, I have questions like, is it time to end my relationship? Or is there a path to reconciliation? What lessons can I learn from this breakup to help me grow and recover? How can I heal from this breakup and move forward? What skills can I develop to cope with the pain and the loneliness of a breakup? And what qualities should I look for in a potential partner? This is also like, what does my future husband look like? What does my future wife look like? And we sit down and I talk to them about what their values are, how to identify character traits that would be beneficial to a more commitment style relationship. And we kind of explore those kinds of things. And then a lot of questions about dating and love and really just fostering confidence and learning how to express our emotions. Now, as people transition into their later 20s, the questions tend to be a little bit more focused on career paths and ambitions. Like, am I on the right career path or should I consider making a change? How can I advance in my current job or position myself for a better opportunity? People are considering whether they should go to grad school or continue their education. I get questions like, is now the right time to pursue further education in my professional development? What skills or knowledge should I prioritize to enhance my career prospects? Questions about identity and growth, about maturing. The other really interesting thing that I get from 25 to 35-year-olds is they seem to go through a shedding of the skin when it comes to friendships. A lot of people outgrow their friendships in their late 20s, early 30s. Navigating friendships can be really difficult. I mean, our early 20s, it's almost as if friendships come a little bit easier and we're trying to navigate the dating scene, and a lot of people are still navigating dating in their later 20s, but they're also starting to become more established in their personal identity and their sense of personhood, personality. And sometimes the friendships that you had in your early 20s, you've outgrown them, or they just aren't bringing the same value to your life as they were before. So in the later 20s, I get a lot of questions like, what lessons can I learn from outgrowing my current friend groups? What steps can I take to find new friends who align with my current values and interests? What can I do to maintain healthy boundaries with my friendships? What insights can Tara provide about changing my social circle? When I'm going to the 30 to 35-year-olds, I really enjoy reading for people in their 30s and above, because as we get wiser and more mature with age, we have a deeper capacity for self-reflection, for introspection, and for changing and growth. So as we kind of moved out of our 20s, the perspective of the questions that I typically get from my clients, instead of them being constantly outward, they start to turn a little bit more inward. Now, early 30s, I still get a lot of questions about career advancement, like how can I level up in my career? Is making a career switch the right decision for me? I do get more questions about work-life balance. How can I balance my career ambitions with wanting to start a family? How can I prioritize my overall well-being with my busy job? Those are things that I get in the early 30s. Now, there's a lot of self-discovery and personal development that comes in our 30s. And what's really fascinating to me is when I read for clients, the clients who have children and the clients who don't have children. You can really see there's like a stark difference between night and day about what their focus is. It's also, too, a lot of people are going through divorces in their 30s, their late 30s, a lot in their 40s. But you kind of see the same, more relationship style readings. There's still a huge emphasis on relationships and couples and development. But instead of, is this person the right person for me? It's, how can I grow? How can I understand my partner better? How can we deepen our connection? Or how can I heal after my divorce? Or how can I be the best mom or the best dad for my child? Now, as we kind of transition to our late 30s, early 40s, I do get a lot of divorcees that I read for. And here, those can be very difficult because divorces are some of the most emotional, like tensions are running high, people are seeing red. They can be actually some of the more emotional readings that I've done for people. And sometimes it's just giving a client the time and space to process their anger or their disappointment, or coming to terms with the time that they've spent on a relationship that didn't meet their expectations. There's a lot of like emotional processing in those types of readings that can be a little bit more involved. Some of the questions I get for clients who are going through divorces are like, how do I navigate the emotional challenges of this divorce with grace and resilience? You know, divorce isn't just, about breaking up. Like when I read for my younger clients in their 20s who are going through a breakup, it's all about, developing coping skills and resilience and coming to terms with our emotions. But clients who are going through a divorce, it is like a breakup, but it's like a breakup times 1,000, right? It's not just we're broken up. It's like our finances are together. Maybe they have kids together. Maybe they have pets together. You've built your life around this person. Maybe there was, infidelity or just other things that like compound it. And it can be incredibly painful. And so when you're working with clients who are going through a divorce, you want to give them, peace and calm and reassurance, but also give them the tools to go through this phase of their life that might be very difficult, but it does have an end to it. Other divorcee questions are like, how can I best take care of myself and prioritize my well-being during this process? How do I learn to trust and love again after my divorce? What about the future of my relationships and my personal growth after my divorce? How am I going to co-parent with my ex? What steps can I take to find closure and move forward in a positive direction? And how do I give myself forgiveness and closure that I know my ex won't give me? So those are just some examples about the divorcees that I read for. And then on the other side of the coin, I do get a lot of couples. I do couple sessions. I do couple session readings. And I get people that are coming in who want to deepen their connection, who want, very interesting to get two sides of the same coin. And, it's very interesting. A lot of people don't realize the spiritual element in having relationships, right? Relationships, especially emotional ones built on love and trust, that there is a spiritual element to being connected with somebody, that we're not just merging our lifestyles together, but the act of growing your soul with your partner is a very spiritual experience. And sometimes it's very hard to come up with the language to communicate that and understand that. And a tarot reading can be a great way to, develop a deeper, wider sense of empathy for your partner, to allow your partner to connect and see you in a new light. And those can just be, I love couple sessions. They're so beautiful. They're so insightful. And I'll probably share some stories with you and of what I've learned. Now, I have the next group is the 50 to 60-year-olds, and they almost have a completely different focus. It's almost like people, 50 and below. It's a lot about relationships and work and balance and children and navigating and building up this emotional resiliency. Now, when people start to move from their 50s to their 60s, again, the focus in my tarot readings change. Now, instead of about, finding true love and those kinds of things, people are more concerned with life transitions, reflecting on the relationships that they currently have, their legacy and their contribution to society and their family, and spiritual growth. A lot of spiritual growth questions about people in their 50s. It's almost like they're leaving their youth and they're, entering their wiser years, and their perspectives, their values are starting to change. So some of the questions I get for the 50 to 6-year-olds are questions like, what guidance can tarot provide me about navigating my upcoming retirement? How can I come to terms with accepting retirement? How do I leave my career and my professional life in a way that's meaningful and peaceful to me? How can I embrace the changes that are happening in my personal and professional life? What can I do to find love and companionship at this stage of my life? How can I improve the relationships with my adult children? For legacy, I get, what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind, and what can I do today to start building it? And how can I make a meaningful impact to my community or my family? And then finally, spiritual growth. I have questions here like, what spiritual paths should I be pursuing? How can I connect deeper with my intuition? Now, the group of 60 to 70-year-olds, I will admit, I don't have a ton of data on that, actually. 60 and above is the smallest group of clients I have. Majority of my clients are 40 and under, actually. Between 20s to 40s is, I would say, the majority of my clients. And I'd say maybe like 50% of my clients. And only about 10% of my clients are above 60. So these are just the questions that I have that I've recorded, but my sample size is very small, so take what you will. But when I do read for people that are between 60 to 75, we talk a lot about mortality. We talk a lot about kind of the upcoming closures of life, finding peace with coming to terms of accepting that we have more days behind us than we have ahead of us. There's a lot about retirement and leisure, questions like, what kind of new pursuits or hobbies can I bring to bring joy and fulfillment in my life? How can I make the most out of my retirement years? And then we do a lot of self-reflecting. People in their 60s and their 70s have lived a lot. They've got a lot of life experience, and there's, we're processing closure. We're processing our wisdom, and sometimes that takes time to process. Some other questions I have here are, how can I make the most out of my retirement years? What lessons can I learn from reflecting on my life journey? How can I find peace with the things that I cannot change? How can I find acceptance of my regrets? For legacy, what wisdom do I want to pass on to my grandchildren and my adult children? How can I strengthen my legacy with my family? How can I better understand my family? From a spiritual perspective, a lot of it is about, like I said, we do talk a lot more about mortality and grief and like the meaning of life sometimes, which are beautiful conversations. What are some ways that I can deepen my spirituality at this stage in my life? How can I leave a legacy for those that come after me? So this is a quick highlight of some of the most common questions I get based off of the age groups of clients, and really you can kind of see their interests, people's focus as they go through different challenges in their life, finding career, finding love, outgrowing friendships, establishing stability like a home and a relationship or marriage, going through tumultuous breakups or divorces, wanting to figure out how to deepen our relationships with people and partners, navigating to career changes and career developments, and accepting, letting go of our career as we enter retirement, and then in retirement processing mortality, exploring different ways and joys within ourselves like our hobbies, and nurturing our legacy and finding peace and acceptance as we approach the end of our life. And I think that's why I love reading tarot so much, is because I get to share a moment with somebody as they're going through this beautiful part of their life. Some of our challenges can be some of our most influential moments of humanity and our experience, and to share that with someone, or to have someone share a vulnerable space with me, and we can walk through our feelings or our emotions or our thoughts, and you can have that human-to-human connection as you're going through something, whether it be a breakup or a divorce or the birth of a child or the pending retirement or the loss of a loved one or the loss of a pet. There are so many things, and as they walk that spiritual path. And, it's like I said, it's very humbling, and I feel very honored. I feel very honored when someone hires me for a tarot reading. And everyone is so unique. I have not read for the same person twice, everyone has such a unique life. No breakup is the same, no marriage is the same. Everyone is so wonderfully and beautifully unique, and it's a joy to get to meet people and experience that side of humanity. And I think that's what I love about doing tarot readings, and how it evolves and changes over time. Anyway, I hope this was enlightening or inspirational for you. If you're wondering, what kind of questions should I get, or what kind of readings do people get at my age range, what kind of concerns do people have, or just wondering what kind of questions to ask yourself in your own personal readings, I hope this was interesting for you, and I'm happy to share more of my data that I've collected over the years, and just my experiences. I've got some great stories to share, and just, let me know if this is a very small channel. I've, the handful of people that watch my videos, I really appreciate you, and I want you to know that this is just my little corner of the internet. It's my little secret space, and let me know if you have any topics or knowledge that you want me to share, or experiences or exercises that you want me to do in regards to tarot. I have so much. As always, I hope you all have a beautiful day, and take care, everyone.